No more hand rubbing, no more smiles. Chelsea have taken all of that away from us. There is absolutely no reason to be excited about anything. 24 hours later, 24 hours after the debacle that took place against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final, I spent nearly 24 hours being up since the start of the stream yesterday. And I had to endure that all throughout the day at work. And we said it, right? We said it that this particular final, this loss would be detrimental to us, and it has turned out to be very, very detrimental, to the point where I find it hard to believe whether we're actually going to win a silverware anytime soon under this new ownership, under this new, under this board, the way they've set up. And I have zero confidence about whoever they want to bring down the track. And that's the news, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, there was always going to be big news after this loss. Generally, you see a lot of briefs coming out in favor of Pochettino, but now there is a lot of briefs coming out saying that the hierarchy are not totally convinced with Maurizio Pochettino. So look, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that. A lot of us felt like that from the get-go. A lot of us sort of became more aware of this situation in recent times. And look, it's safe to say that Maurizio Pochettino is not the answer. When you've got a manager, yesterday I was just flicking through a whole heap of managers that we used to have, especially Jose Mourinho. The way he carried himself, his charisma, his ability to talk to press. It was incredible to see a man with so much confidence and so much arrogance, but the right type of arrogance. And I'm a massive believer, your team is a reflection of who you are as a manager. We saw the team jittery, shaky, nervous, lacking any self-confidence. And this is a reflection of how the manager is as well. Manager, we've said he's a bottle job. The manager doesn't seem to have any backbone. People are going after the manager and he just doesn't have any level of authority. So it's clear and evident to see that this guy is not the answer. Now, we've all also said that at the end of the day, the manager is not the end all and be all in this football club. The issues are far more deep rooted than just the manager. The board, Winston Lee, Lawrence Stewart, the owners, lacking any level of footballing knowledge and how to run a football club, a top football club that was doing so well. And these guys have come in and, apparently this will be the first time in like 20 years where we will go 2 seasons with any silverware. And as I said, it's not a far-fetched notion to believe that, are we actually ever going to win any silverware anytime soon? I highly, highly doubt that. Some things will drastically need to change for me to believe that. Because at the moment, the direction is we're still going to continue on with looking for youthful players, carrying on with this youth project, more data-driven analysis. Nothing at the moment gives me the vibe that it's going to turn around. And if you're sitting there thinking, no, it is, you're just simply holding on to hope. For people that are going to comment straight away, Miz, it's so negative, you're just basically holding on hope. You're not holding on anything logical. You're not really holding on to anything that is, that you can consider at the moment that, this particular aspect makes me believe that, it's going to change. No, it's blind hope. It's blind hope. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go through the latest news. Breaking news, apparently. Look, I'll give you my opinion. Let's just quickly go through the latest news. Breaking news: Chelsea have started looking at replacement for Pochettino in case they decide to part ways. Look, all I'm going to say about this is no one's getting sacked. No one's getting sacked for the time being. If anything, we'll probably assess the situation at the end of the season. Right now, the honest truth is we can't afford to sack this guy. Financial fair play is heavy on us, is massively heavy on us. And we need to make sure that we don't incur any more losses in this financial period, and we can assess everything next, after this financial period ends on 30th of June. So, yeah, I'm not going to believe that, Pochettino is going anywhere imminently. If anything, I think if we do make a change, it'll be at the end of this season. There are now significant doubts over whether Chelsea are prepared to continue their partnership with Pochettino heading towards the season's climax. Pressure is mounting on the coach. Look, pressure has been mounting on him for well over 3 months now. This loss to Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final, it shouldn't be a massive surprise to anyone in the sense of how we lost, to kids, basically. We lost to Liverpool kids. We should be surprised because we don't have any system. Pochettino has not been able to implement a single system, a way of playing football, something that represents his type of football. He's not been able to implement that. Yeah, there's been injuries and whatnot, but still, you should be able to implement your fundamental ways of playing against an opposition. He's not been able to do that. So I'm not surprised that we came up against a well-drilled team like Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp, who, let's be honest, you can say that, but he's been there for so long, he's built the foundation. No, they've gone through several changes. He's rebuilt that team several times over. Past players have gone, new players have come in. And more importantly, he seems to be getting more out of his youth players than we have. Breaking: Pochettino now faces a crucial run of matches to determine his long-term future at Stamford Bridge, with the club desperate to play in Europe next season. Look, Europe is not happening. Forget about Europe. Forget about it. We're not winning the FA Cup. I'm doubtful if we're even going to beat Leeds next up. Forget about Europe. We didn't make it to Conference League because we lost against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. There is no way we're making Europa League, and there is no way we're making into the top 6 of the Premier League. So forget about Europe. And if Europe is the benchmark for keeping Pochettino long term, well, then there you go. That's the answer. He's not going to get Europe, which means he will potentially get sacked after this season. Whispers are already floating out of Stamford Bridge. Pochettino cannot afford to lose to Leeds. Of course he cannot. But even if he does win, it don't mean nothing anymore. It honestly means nothing anymore. Well, what's going to happen? He's going to be, let's say for argument's sake, he's able to beat Leeds. So what? Whoop-de-doo. You're eventually going to get knocked out of this cup anyway. And what progress are you going to do in the Premier League? Leeds are a championship team. Yeah, damn good team, though. Damn good team. Mauricio Pochettino is now facing a make-or-break run to the end of the season in order to keep his job. Minimum target was Europe. Forget it. It's not happening. Europe is not happening. Don't sell me all of this Europe nonsense. Check this out. I want to spend a bit of time on this one, ladies and gentlemen. Simon Jordan was not impressed with Pochettino's reply to Gary Neville over the blue billion-pound bottle jobs jibe. Maybe something was lost in translation, and that is just the nature of the beast. But I personally would like to see my manager be a bit more robust with that observation and a little bit more prickly about the sentiments of my team. Simon Jordan's bang on. Simon Jordan is bang on. Where's Pochettino's backbone? What Gary Neville said, blue billion-pound bottle jobs. It's the truth. We are getting bantered left, right, and center by everyone, but it is the truth. But where is the backbone of Mauricio Pochettino to come out and actually defend your team, defend your club? This is what I'm talking about. He has no fight. He has no. People say he's got charisma. He's got zero charisma. He talks about having barbecues and having lemons in his offices, in his office. What sort of nonsense conversation is that? This is what I mean. You think if there was a manager like Jose, and I'm just putting Jose as an example, I'm not advocating for him to come in now. If someone like Jose had a pundit talk to him this way, oh, you best believe Jose is going to absolutely destroy that press conference. But Pochettino, apparently he's friends with Gary Neville, so it is what it is. It is what it is. It just lacks any level of backbone. And all of that is translated to the team. The team is the representation of Mauricio Pochettino. It's simple as that. Because I'm not going to sit here and just say the entire squad is just full of rubbish players, because it's not. Mauricio Pochettino's admission that the team started to feel that maybe the penalties would be good for us has been misconstrued. He was speaking about his sense from the touchline rather than any specific instructions issued to his players. This is even worse. If you as a manager are feeling that this is what the players are wanting, they're looking for that penalties scenario, you need to have the ability from the touchline to change that thought process. You need to be barking instructions. You need to be, when you're doing the subs, giving instructions to the players that are coming in that, no, send out a message. We're going to attack. This is our time. Extra time. Those guys have kids and some of the other players are getting tired. Let's push. We've just put in a lot of, attacking substitutions. Let's go after the game. But if you're sitting there and sensing that they're looking for penalties and you're just doing nothing about it, well, what value do you have as a manager? If you're not able to influence, then what value? Why do I have you? What's the point of having you? Simple as. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is off the back of that breaking news, with Pochettino apparently. We may be looking to part ways. I still don't believe we're going to let go of him now. It'll probably be at the end of this, after this season. But one of the names that's getting floated around, ladies and gentlemen, is Ruben Amorim. Chelsea have retained an interest in Ruben Amorim. Look, I've seen a little bits and pieces of sporting here and there. I did watch their last game against Young Boys, the entire game. Ruben Amorim has got a good style of play, man. 3 at the back, full on control, very good attackers. He's one of those modern day managers for me. The up and coming modern day managers in the likes of Ruben Amorim, in the likes of Xabi Alonso. Roberto De Zerbi is another one, the name that's getting floated around. As I said, look, I don't mind Ruben Amorim. I think he's a good manager. I need to see him a lot more. It would be fantastic if he goes on and wins the Europa League. I think that will be a massive tick mark on him. The way he was able to knock out Arsenal last season, don't forget, that was nice to see. There's a lot of things to like about Ruben Amorim, his philosophy, his style of football. I think there's a little bit of charisma about him as well. He's not someone who's just a pushover. I think the players will respect him. He's got a bit of resume that's building at the moment. So look, with Ruben Amorim, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have an issue, but all I'm saying is that our problems are far greater than just changing a manager. I think someone like Ruben Amorim could potentially get more out of what we have right now in our squad. I think that's very important. I think first thing what you can do is, you can't just entirely change the owners. Well, you definitely can't change the owners. It won't be that easy to change the directors. But one thing you can do is perhaps get a manager that can get a little bit more out of the team. And that's a start, I suppose. Chelsea could pay a compensation fee to take yet another member of staff from Brighton, but it's unlikely Unai Emery would give up control at Aston Villa to join Chelsea and put his neck on the line for Bowley and Igbali. So I think this conversation started from Matt Law in regards to perhaps Unai Emery being linked. But I think he's trying to say that Unai Emery is definitely not going to, want to come to Chelsea Football Club. But if anything, you could potentially have a situation where we could go to Brighton again, for Roberto De Zerbi. And for me, ladies and gentlemen, Roberto De Zerbi, I think he's a very good. We've given Brighton enough money to do this again with Brighton. That's the annoying part. That's why I want to stay away from it. But De Zerbi as a manager, I actually rate him quite a lot. People just judge him based on what he's doing at Brighton. Of course, what he's doing at Brighton is still pretty good, like for Brighton's level. Do you know what I mean? And they're also very much alive in Europe. In the second round of Europe, they've got a match coming up against Roma, which actually I can't wait to watch that. But I think Roberto De Zerbi with better players, I think will do even better job. I still think he's doing a sensational job with Brighton. Chelsea may not be too good to turn down anymore. Almost everyone in football thinks Chelsea are going to run into P&S rules and potentially profit and sustainability rules, by the way, and potentially looming punishment, potentially a points deduction from Abramovich era. So, look, I am of the belief that next season will probably be a write-off as well. I think there's a points deduction that's coming our way. There's just too much noise about this, and where there is some level of smoke, there is some level of fire. So, Matt Law's right. Chelsea may not be too good to turn down anymore. Like, there's nothing so lucrative about Chelsea. We're going to find it difficult to land good managers. We're going to find it difficult to land good players. As I said, what's going for us? For the past 2 seasons, we're mid-table. We can't win any trophies. What's going for us? We're bottlers. People are calling us the new Spurs. What's attractive about us anymore? So we've really royally screwed our football club. We really have under this new ownership. And this ownership, that if they just saw, what is happening in reality, as opposed to, I feel like these owners, they live in a airy-fairy land where they live in hypotheticals. Like, these owners truly believe, they've said it recently, that the current squad should be 5th. Based on the data analysis that they've done, it should be 5th. Well, look, based on your analysis, could have, should have, might be, should be, at the end of the day, the reality is you're 11th. And this is the issue with these owners. They don't seem to be connected to the reality of the situation, how dire it is. They're more thinking, in XG format. XG tells us our points should be this, so it's good. It will turn around. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. So far, two seasons, you've flopped. You need to reassess. Is my approach right? Should I have a different approach? Because for me, honestly, I think next season could be a bit of a write-off. Winston Lee has got close to the powerful Ighbali. Some sources believe he's going nowhere, but others believe he could be vulnerable if Ighbali's trust wavers. Someone is going to have to carry the can for the iffy signings. And look, this is a major issue for us. Our sporting directors are also potentials. Our owners want our sporting directors to develop into great directors. So our owners are saying right now, these sporting directors, they're good, but we want to give them all the utensils, all the utilities to make them into great sporting directors. So we are investing on sporting directors as well, their potential. Not just the players, not just the managers, even sporting directors are on trial at Chelsea Football Club. Their potentials as well. So look, there's been several questionable signings. Some have been really good, no doubts about that. But some, specifically Mudryk, is a massive, massive issue. And they should be accountable. They 100% should be accountable for the team that they've conjured up. Now, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Another cookie monster. Do you guys remember the last season's mentality monster? Yeah, we've now apparently got a new mentality monster. I like to call him Cookie Monster. I was calling the last one a Cookie Monster. Chelsea have hired Owen Eastwood to lead a project on their history and identity, which will impact the environment at Stamford Bridge and at Cobham. Eastwood previously said, my role is to help the team perform better. So look, the bottom line here, look at some of the comments. Look at some of the comments. People are laughing. People are laughing at us. I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke. So apparently this brother is the next mentality monster at Chelsea Football Club. Look, let me sip on some tea. What am I going to say, man? We're a laughing stock. Last season's mentality monster, I don't even know where he went. He disappeared. He was there for a little while. There was all these comments that was happening about him, that, oh, he's going to weed out all the D-heads. And then the brother disappeared. When we were losing left, right, and center, I never saw that mentality monster anywhere. The cookie monster. And now we've got ourselves another cookie monster, like as if this is what's going to help Chelsea Football Club. When you have to bring all of these nonsense personnel, you just don't know what you're doing. Honestly, you have no idea how to run a football club. That's all I'm going to say. Some Chelsea insiders had been predicting that Mikel Mudryk could be one of the players of the year when Pochettino arrived last summer, which raises questions over their judgment. Who are some of these insiders? Who are some of these Chelsea insiders predicting Mikel Mudryk would be one of the players of the year? Who's that? What did you know? Like, none of us knew anything about Mikel Mudryk. I certainly didn't know much about him. I just knew that, he featured a little bit in Champions League for Shakhtar. And that's it. And the fact that Arsenal were going after him. For us to think, oh, he's going to turn into player of the year, and now you're disappointed. No, you should be disappointed at your own self for thinking this could happen. Mudryk is a big problem for us. Big problem. Because right now, I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether he's capable of being at Chelsea. It's too much for him. Way too much for him. But what do we do? We spent over 60 million for this kid. He's not even a kid, actually. He's, I think, 24, turning 24, something like that. Let's see if there's any other latest news before we wrap things up. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your comments in regards to everything that we talked about. Lots of stuff in regards to Ruben Amorim. Chelsea Dodgers saying, would you be happy if Ruben Amorim came in and replaced Mauricio Pochettino, whether now or in the summer? It's not going to happen now. Could be a situation in the summer, but that seems to be the latest in Chelsea news. So, ladies and gentlemen, smash up the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. I shall see you guys for a live stream tomorrow. Until then, everyone, take care. See ya.